Please welcome to the stage Vice President of Clinical Research, Dr. Nicole Stevens. You got my heart on fire, like no one else could. Found the kind of love that was born to be running like you.
Guys, you can't make me cry yet. Thank you so much. I am so excited to be with you today. And what an honor to follow such amazing scientists, colleagues here at doTERRA. I could just listen to them all day, couldn't you? We only have a few minutes, but we have so much exciting stuff to cover. So I want you to grab your peppermint, grab your supermint, and wake up, because we're going to talk about sleep. Little contradictory, I know, but you'll want your brain awake for the exciting stuff that we're going to talk about next. The chemistry and the science and the research behind the new Serenity system. Are you ready to dive in? Okay. You heard yesterday all about why sleep is so important to our health and why we need to make it a priority. We're so lucky at doTERRA to have these natural solutions to support healthy sleep. So let's start by recalling some of the chemistry of our beloved Serenity oil blend. Oh, I could tell you some stories about this. Come find me in the showcase and I will. This is one of my absolute favorite of our doTERRA products. Now, not surprisingly, this blend is formulated with soothing oils, calming oils like lavender, cedarwood, Roman chamomile, and vanilla. The constituents linalool and linalool acetate. You've probably heard those before if you've been to any doTERRA conventions. These have so much great research supporting their calming qualities in the central nervous system. Cedrol from cedarwood is a sesquiterpene that's also known for its calming and grounding properties. Now, many of you who have used Serenity know that it is a very powerful blend of essential oils to support sleep. But remember, these oils are more than just those active constituents. It's really the synergy of their natural plant chemistry that holds the power. Now, how many of you are excited about the new sleep stick? Did anyone happen to use it last night? Amazing. What did you think? Yeah? Of course, this is our newest member of the Serenity family, and it features the new oil we've never seen before, valerian oil. Now, a meta-analysis on valerian for sleep concluded that this natural product may actually support our sleep without the side effects you might get from other products. Sesquiterpenes, they're known for their powerful calming properties, and valerian is full of these kind of constituents. So when combined with Serenity oil and put into this convenient stick for application, this is going to be a serious player in our search for a better night's sleep. Now, let's not forget about the Serenity soft gels. You heard yesterday, these are the improved version of the Serenity soft gels that many of us have used and loved over the past few years. We've got the lavender, the L-theanine, the passion flower extract, lemon balm, and now with the tart cherry, that's the natural source of melatonin. Right? I'm excited about that too. Research suggests that tart cherry may help increase the availability of a little thing called tryptophan. Anyone heard of that? That nice, calming, relaxing chemical in the brain that supports the body's natural sleep mechanisms. Now, unlike many of the melatonin supplements on the market, this is not synthetic. This is not a megadose of melatonin that can actually interfere with your body's hormone systems. The Serenity soft gel is a natural, gentle way to work with your body's systems to support a good night of sleep. So as Becca shared yesterday, this powerhouse trio of products is formulated to work together in supporting that natural sleep and making sure that you feel amazing the next day. We're a science-based company, and we would not launch a product system like this without human clinical trials. So you might be asking, does it work? Let's talk about the clinical trial for which we have data hot off the press to share with you. So when my amazing team and I were designing this trial, we wanted to study the power of the different parts of the system, as well as the entire system, how it worked together. So we had our trial participants track their sleep as is, no intervention, for 1 week. Then, for 1 week, just diffuse the oil alone in our awesome Volo diffuser. For 1 week, we had them diffuse the oils plus use the stick topically. So we started to combine that a little bit and stack it. And then, for 4 weeks, we had them use all 3 products together. Now, why 4 weeks on the system? Well, research suggests it may take as much as 3 weeks for internal lavender to start to build up and work in our systems to its maximum potential. So, we recruited 45 healthy people for this study. We assigned them wearable trackers. We measured multiple endpoints, including their sleep amounts and sleep quality, blood markers, subjective surveys, safety markers, and even effects clear down at a cellular level. Now, one of the most important outcomes of this clinical research is, of course, safety. As you just heard, doTERRA is not only a leader in purity and efficacy, but also in safety. That is one of the doTERRA differences. We check liver enzymes, kidney function, blood and urine markers, and we collect feedback from our participants every time we do a trial. For the Serenity system, no significant changes occurred in any of our safety markers, and no serious adverse events were reported from any of our participants. That's what we want to see. We care very deeply about your safety. So now if you get the question, are the Serenity products safe? You can answer with confidence, yes, backed by data. Just one more way doTERRA is stepping through that door and locking it behind us. Now, minutes of sleep and sleep score were important indicators of how our participants were doing in the trial. The sleep score is an algorithm developed by the makers of the wearable device company that we were using. It combines a sleep amount and sleep quality into a single number. Both the minutes of sleep and the sleep score increased for our participants throughout the trial. Now, these increases weren't hours of extra sleep per night. There's really no magic switch for that, but certainly minutes. And when we're talking about sleep, every minute counts. And we're going to talk a little bit more about why that is, and you'll see it in the data. But the bigger and more important question is, what did those increases actually mean for the participants in the study? To answer that question, we used validated clinical research surveys that asked our participants questions about how better sleep made them function. At the end of the day, that's really what we wanted to see improve. On the LEADS Sleep Evaluation Questionnaire, or LSEQ, that you might see in the literature if you're reading about sleep, we asked participants how easily they were able to fall asleep, how they felt when they woke up, how tired or energetic they felt during the day. In every measure, using the Serenity Sleep System improved how participants felt before, during, and after sleep, and throughout the day. In many categories, the change was dramatic, like feeling less restless during their sleep and feeling refreshed when they woke up. On the short form 20 or SF20 questionnaire, participants were asked about their quality of life. Things like whether discomfort prevented them from performing tasks, or whether they felt down, whether they felt calm and relaxed. In every measure, guess what we saw? Increase. In some cases, again, this was dramatic. I dare say, life-changing for someone who now feels like they can live life rather than stumbling through their day like a half-asleep zombie. On the functional outcomes of sleep questionnaire, the FOSQ, we asked participants about how sleep impacted their ability to perform daily tasks, like driving, doing paperwork, or participating in social events. Again, in every measure, we saw improvements in how participants perceived their sleep. People just function better in every aspect of their life that we could measure. Now, not only did we show improvements in subjective data, but objectively, we could see the improvement in participants' well-being. Now, these data are still being analyzed. Again, we're giving you a very hot off the press sneak peek, but we're going to have more information for you in the coming months. I wanted to show you some interesting trends we're seeing in our participants. During the trial with the Serenity system, our participants spent less time sedentary. Active minutes per day increased. And in turn, participants were burning more calories when they were using the sleep system. I'll be honest, we weren't actually even expecting this, but it's no surprise, right? When participants, for example, in the week they were using the diffused oil and the stick, they burned an average of 500 calories more per day from being active. Who knew? Well, we knew, but is it possible that sleeping better leads to more energy, which naturally encourages your body to move? When we feel better, so often we do better. This is proof positive that when people sleep better, we're influencing other areas of the wellness pyramid. It is all connected. Now, after reviewing this data, we began to do some subgroup analyses as well. We realized something very important that applies to all of us. Some of us believe we may be getting a good night of sleep, but in fact we're not. Well, everyone accepted into the study was screened and their self-reported sleep habits were good. Once we tracked how they actually slept, we saw more than half of our participant population were irregular, late sleepers. In the subgroup analysis, we categorized participants into regular or irregular sleepers based on their sleep-wake patterns, from what the wearable device was telling us. Regular sleepers varied less than 2 hours in their bedtimes and wake times. Irregular sleepers varied more than 2 hours. Earlier late sleepers were categorized based on whether they went to bed before midnight most nights or after midnight most nights. Research shows that variable sleep-wake patterns can affect daytime sleepiness, focus, energy, even personality. This indicates that as a society, we have some work to do. Okay, I won't ask for a raise of hands. Which of these categories fits us? And which one do we aspire to be? Now, down at a cellular level, what does better sleep do for our bodies? We know that sleep is strongly correlated with our inflammatory response. So we wanted to see if using the Serenity products would affect this in healthy people. One common way we measure inflammatory response is by looking at something called C-reactive protein, or CRP. This protein is elevated in times of stress, poor sleep, even exercise. Our C-reactive protein levels go up and down normally as we go through life, but optimally, we want this C-reactive protein level generally low. From the beginning to the end of the study, we saw drops in the C-reactive protein of our participants. Yeah, you can cheer for that. I like it. Why did our people feel awesome when they were using these products? Why could they get out and be more active? Because their biology, the markers in their blood, in their cells, were showing that their bodies were working better. This is something that can benefit every human being. Thank you. One person's like, yeah, that's me. As we've shown year after year, doTERRA essential oils have biological activity because we have the purest, most consistent, most efficacious oils on the planet. Simple as that, right? And like you heard from Dr. Hill and Dr. O, you may see other companies talk about oils, sourcing, even research, and say, me too, we're just like doTERRA. Well, I cry foul on that. Aside from the adulterated and synthetic oils that we know flood the market, ultimately, they don't know what we know because they can't do what we do. You heard Dr. Hill say we're playing a different game. This is one of the ways we do it. Human clinical data, we hope, gives you the confidence to say we're different and we're better. Research, we hope, gives you the confidence to use these products on yourself, on your family, share them with everyone around you. To help you start sharing the outcomes of this clinical trial with your friends and family right now, scan this QR code. We've got some fresh, downloadable claims you can use today about the new Serenity system. And we're so excited for you to do that. Now, I'm a scientist. But first, I'm a mom. I'm a mom to 6 beautiful kids. Thank you all for taking the time to be here, to care about doTERRA, about the science, to love, to join this wonderful energy, to be part of something amazing. We love you. We're excited to have these products for you. I love the Serenity Sleep System. I know you will too. Now, the exciting research doesn't stop there. But wait, there's more. We're going to welcome Dr. Osguthorpe back to the stage if he's available and share another aspect of this amazing breakthrough research. Oh yeah. Get ready, because it's gonna blow your hair back. First, I'd like us to create some shared understanding about how our genes work.
Your body is made of 30 trillion human cells. That means you have 30 times more human cells in your body than there are stars in the Milky Way. Incredible, right? Your cells are the building blocks of life and health. Every cell in your body has the same DNA, the same genetic blueprint. A skin cell, a heart cell, and a cell in your eye all contain the same DNA. But how genes are expressed in a cell determines its function in the body. Other cells produce the energy we need to breathe and move. Some cells send signals, while others release hormones to regulate everything from our heartbeat to our thoughts and emotions. So how does each cell know what to do? The genes within each cell turn on or off, like a light switch, giving instructions for how the cell functions. In fact, this works more like a dimmer switch. Your gene expression can be dialed up or down. Here's a simple example. Your gene expression determines your eye color through the genes OCA2, HERC2, and IRF4. Most cells in the body have these genes turned off because they're not needed. But in the eye, they are turned on and play a critical role. Your metabolism is a little more involved. Metabolic function is controlled by 68 different metabolic pathways and over 2,325 individual genes that can be dialed up or down. This is where it gets exciting. Developing science is proving that you can influence your gene expression. How? With the lifestyle choices you make every day. While genes are expressed in each one of us based on a set of overarching instructions, these instructions are not set in stone. They are modified based on our choices. And we can actually measure the genetic responses to our choices with clinical trials. Through blood testing, gene markers are mapped and their expression measured, showing if they are on or off, as well as the degree to which they're dialed up or down. This opens incredible pathways for discovering how your lifestyle and product choices can change your gene expression, which in turn can impact our health and wellness.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage Dr. Russell Osguthorpe.
Running down to the red tide, taken away to the dark side. Only be your left. I love you when you sing this song.
How about Alex and Nicole? Weren't they fantastic? Now, the video we just watched was an introduction to the science of gene expression. I want you to hold on to that concept that we all have the potential to alter our genetic futures by the way we choose to live our lives and the products we put in our bodies. We've said this many times before on this very stage. And today, I'm going to show you how our new Serenity sleep system influenced the genes of our Serenity clinical trial subjects. Would you like to see that? What I am about to give you is actually revolutionary in the essential oil industry. No one else can do what we do, nobody. This kind of data allows us to credibly reach the majority of customers in the world, and not just the early adopters of the essential oil movement. This is my Christmas morning face. No amount of serenity could help me sleep last night thinking about what's going to happen right now. This epigenetic study was part of the larger Serenity sleep system trial just discussed. You'll recall Dr. Stevens shared that the design was a before and after type of sample collection. To measure the epigenetic outcomes, we collected blood samples at the beginning and then at the very end of the trial. From those blood samples, we can see what each person's epigenetic profile looks like before using the sleep system, and then compare that to the after patterns in their genetic profile. The only thing that changed during the trial is that they were using the Serenity sleep system. Here's what a genome-wide epigenetic screen of more than 10,000 genes looks like. This is called a volcano plot. Don't worry, you don't need to remember this, okay? And each one of these dots represents one of the genes we studied. This is our data. The ones you see in red are genes that were dialed down, just like that dimmer switch we saw a moment ago. And the ones in green are the genes that were dialed up or turned on, not just a little. These genes were modulated more than 5-fold. That's like turning up that dimmer switch to fully light up the room. Let me show you the data on the 3 most interesting genes in our data set. These next slides are the ones you'll want to take pictures of. And if you want to, go right ahead, because these are going to be claims you can make compliantly about this system. I'm going to say that again for dramatic effect. These next slides are going to be claims you can compliantly make about the Serenity sleep system. However, these are all going to be in a QR code later, so if you want to take pictures, go right ahead, but I'd prefer you to just stick with me for a second, because this is a little bit tough to get. So stick with me, okay? Don't worry about it. It's going to be there. The first gene I want to tell you about is DNM3TB. Just rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? DNM3TB. Oh, it's just beautiful. This gene is expressed diurnally, meaning daily, and is involved in maintaining our healthy circadian rhythms. In our clinical trial, we saw DNM3TB expression statistically significantly increased after 6 weeks using the Serenity Sleep System as part of their daily sleep routine. As I said, DNM3TB, there it is again, just rolls right off the tongue, is a gene that supports healthy sleep through the maintenance of circadian rhythms. Circadian rhythms are critical to our sleep cycles. The adjusted p-value for this gene is 0.03, which means we are 97% assured that the result we saw in our study is due to the use of the Serenity Sleep System and nothing else. Okay, you ready for the next gene? This one I think you're gonna like. All right, stick with me. This next gene is called LRP5. Sound familiar? No, not our loyalty rewards program, but just as valuable. LRP5 is better known as LDL receptor-related protein 5. This gene is involved in our metabolic function, and its expression is affected by the quality of our sleep. LRP5 gene expression was significantly increased by using the doTERRA's Serenity Sleep System. LRP5 expression is increased when sleep is improved, and it supports glucose metabolism and cellular fitness. The adjusted p-value here is again 0.03. That number is my Christmas morning. Okay, and now my favorite, the last gene I'm going to share with you, I affectionately call ZIMZ2. ZMIZ2, ZIMZ2, is a gene that is involved in regulating the STAT family of signaling transcription factors. The STAT family is one of the most important of all the signaling pathways in the human body and is involved in immunity, inflammatory response, and sleep. ZIMZ2 has also been associated with circadian rhythms, and in particular, the ease of waking up after sleep. ZIMZ2 was significantly upregulated in healthy subjects using the doTERRA's Serenity Sleep System. In other words, using doTERRA's Serenity Sleep System may lead to increased expression of ZIMZ2. This data is evidence of what I shared with you yesterday. This is not just about the amount of sleep you can get by using the Serenity Sleep System. It's about the quality of sleep you get. And that quality of sleep is determined by what changes happen in your body and in your cells that improve your health and wellness. Another way to say this, using the new Serenity Sleep System is not only about increasing our sleep length and quality in subjective terms. This system will help you to get what your body requires from sleep to be more healthy. For some of those you've met in the past, those who might have been skeptical regarding essential oil use, internal use, or a perceived lack of efficacy data on essential oils, you can now share with those people these high-impact compliant claims regarding the doTERRA's Serenity Sleep System. Go ahead, download them now. This clinical data allows you to make claims that others cannot about essential oils. Why? First, because the Serenity Sleep System is built on the foundation of a proprietary blend, and this research validates the entire Serenity system. Our study used all 3 methods of delivery, aromatic, topical, and internal. To our knowledge, there is not another sleep product on the market that makes an epigenetic claim like we now can. This is what our commitment to pure, consistent, safe, and efficacious CPTG essential oils affords you. It affords you the confidence to tell the world about not only why doTERRA is different, but that doTERRA is the only essential oil company in the world that can be trusted to deliver pure, consistent, and efficacy-tested essential oils to you and your family. This type of data is a game changer. It gives you the confidence to know that the Serenity sleep system works and that doTERRA can be relied on. So please go tell the world. Listen, I know that I am preaching to the choir. Really? I know that you're singing along with me. But there are millions that need to know this. And you can help them. To borrow from Corey's wife, Janice, if not you, then who? If not now, then when? And maybe I will invoke another of my favorite childhood heroes as I appeal to you to share these new claims confidently with the world. Obi-Wan, you're my only hope. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first human epigenetic study with doTERRA products, but there is so much more to come. If you want to be the first to know about our doTERRA essential oil science breakthroughs and epigenetics, I encourage you all to bookmark doTERRA.com/science. We'll be adding more and more here very soon. Thank you so very much.